I love this quote by Leslie Berlin, who's a leading Silicon Valley academic at Stanford. She said, "The word I would use is intimacy. We have an intimate relationship with these technologies, and that colors our sense of who we are. And that is new. And that is the way that Silicon Valley has gotten under everybody's skin." Really fantastic insight there. But you also have this outsized cultural influence, which I would argue that industrial leaders have not had before. You don't see the leaders of pharma or even like Ford appearing on magazines in this relentless deitizing fashion. There's been a whole bank of media publications dedicated to charting every move of these guys. There's also a common thread I think you'll notice here in that, like, basically a very, very distinct demographic is being aligned with a massive narrative of success and entrepreneurialism and invention in the US and globally. There is this, it's also led to this idea, or the rise of consumer tech generally in the way it's marketed, to this idea of techceptionalism, I call it. So in marketing all these consumer tech products, they're being marketed and positioned as something much more exceptional than just utilities or services. The internet is about freedom, it's about all these other ideological things, and it's made us less interested in questioning them or regulating them in the same way, or allowed these companies to sidestep that sort of similar scrutiny by claiming that the internet is somehow special. So why should we question now? I mean, I think that's obvious. Democracy, just that like thing. But also that we are, as Chris alluded to as well, a whole relationship with the internet is shifting. So it goes way beyond social media. The way increasingly we're going to be interacting with the internet is going to be completely ambient. Internet is going to become like the air around us, something we speak to, something that responds to us visually. With 5G, whole new things are going to be connected to the internet, and with that, new aspects of the human experience are going to generate data points and therefore be commoditized, and that puts this group as in the place of intermediaries to the human experience. You also have the fact that a lot of the stuff that they're offering, even though it is sort of has altruistic rhetoric attached to it, none of them are 100% solutions. So these scooter companies, a lot of them talk about themselves as like solving the last mile problem in public transport, which of course is not true. Uber says it's, is making transport more affordable. It's making taxis more affordable to middle-class consumers. It's not a last-mile solution. And it's displacing revenue from the subway, which will eventually ghettoize services like the subway. Airbnb would say it's democratizing travel and providing a lifeline to middle-class consumers, but it's also distorting rents in major cities and pushing out people who can't afford to live there. There's also the sort of famed empathy gap of the people creating these systems, which makes it troubling if they are designing sort of bigger systemic civic services.